Have you ever been stuck trying to use a library in Xcode, only to find that the autocomplete feature just isn't working? It's frustrating, right? If that's you, then you're in the right place. Today, we're tackling an issue with Alamofire and Xcode's autocomplete feature. I completely understand your frustration. Many developers have faced similar issues where their libraries just won't autocomplete. You're definitely not alone in this. Let's dive into the specifics of your situation. Here's the specific situation we're looking at. One user reported that after installing Alamofire 4.4, Xcode 8.3 is not providing autocomplete suggestions for the class. They mentioned that only Alamofire version number is being suggested, and even when they type Alamofire manually, some methods don't compile correctly. Sound familiar? Let's dig into this together. So, what could be causing this issue? Autocomplete problems can stem from various sources, such as incorrect project settings, issues with the pod installation, or even Xcode's own quirks. We'll break it down step by step to help you figure out what's going on. And don't go anywhere. I've got a crucial tip at the end that could help you avoid this issue in the future. First, the user should ensure that the Alamofire pod is correctly installed and integrated into the project. They can do this by checking the pod file and running the pod install command. Next, the user should clean the build folder in Xcode. This can help resolve issues with auto-completion and ensure that Xcode recognizes the installed pods. After cleaning the build folder, the user should check the project's build settings. They need to ensure that the Always Search User Paths option is set to yes. Additionally, the user should verify the header search paths. They should ensure that it only includes inherited and is set as non-recursive. Finally, if the issue persists, the user can try restarting Xcode or even their computer. Sometimes a simple restart can resolve lingering issues with autocompletion. Did you know? Xcode has been known to have its own set of quirks, and sometimes it just needs a little nudge to get back on track. It's like a stubborn cat that needs a treat to come out from under the bed. Now, let's look at the answers provided by other users. One alternative solution suggests that the issue may not be with Alamofire itself, but rather with Xcode settings. The user recommends going to Xcode Preferences, navigating to Text Editing, and unchecking Suggest Completions while typing. After quitting and relaunching Xcode, they advise checking the option again and trying to type a library function or enum. Another user suggests that if Xcode has cache file issues, you should close Xcode and remove the cache file located at /librarycaches/com.apple.dt.xcode, then try again. Lastly, a third suggestion is to check for any commented out code after the end directive in your files and delete it, as this might be causing issues with autocomplete. That's the end of that answer. Let's see another perspective. One user shared their experience with a similar issue. They suggest checking your build settings, specifically the framework search paths. Make sure Always Search User Paths is set to No, and that your framework search paths include the correct paths for Alamofire. They also conducted a test project with Alamofire. Initially, autocompletion didn't work after installing the pod. However, after building the project, Xcode recognized the import, and typing Alamofire allowed for some autocompletion of known commands. That's the end of that answer. Let's see another perspective. An alternative solution from another user suggests that instead of adjusting build settings, you should try deleting the derived data and explicitly building the pod scheme. Start by going to Manage Schemes, select the scheme for the problematic pod, and build it for running. Then, switch to the pod's My Project scheme and build that as well. After doing this, return to your normal scheme, and the autocomplete issue should be resolved. That's all on that answer. Let's take a look at another one. One alternative solution is to delete the derived data for your project. This user suggests that this action can resolve issues with Xcode's autocomplete feature. Let's take a look at another answer from another user. One user faced a similar issue and found a solution. They suggested checking the build settings for user header search paths. By entering the value as pod's root/build headers and setting it to recursive, they were able to resolve the autocomplete problem in Xcode. Here's the tip I promised. Regularly check your project settings and keep your pods updated. This can save you from many headaches down the line. And there you have it. With these steps, your autocomplete feature should be working again. Remember, keeping your project settings in check is key. If you found this helpful, hit the subscribe button for more tips, and don't miss our next video where we tackle more common Xcode issues.